Yes, thank you. Good evening. I think this is a really exciting budget. I'm really impressed at how much is in there, and I'm eager to read it super closely and have more conversations about it. I do have just a few clarifying questions and comments. One of them is, well, and I also want to say, I can really picture these things in being implemented, like when I think of my children's school and the schools of the kids that I represent, like I could picture how these things will be helping them. So it's really exciting. The one question I had was about the literacy plan, the Equitable Access to Literacy Plan, which was on slide 10. Just share a little bit more about what that almost $1 million would fund, because I'm wondering how that is different than the $32 million in professional development, because we have talked a lot about how that literacy plan will need the professional development. So what exactly is that $0.9 million looking to do?
I'm going to have Ms. Klemenko, our Instructional Services Assistant Superintendent, share some feedback there. Thanks.
So that money is for some resource teachers that will work out of central office. Are you talking about the literacy and learning positions? Yes, and also some ESOL coaches that will support the transformation within the schools. The equitable access to literacy work is vitally important. It's a main priority in instructional services, so we'll be putting other funds towards the actual plan. Looking for other grant monies and things, but these are really intentional positions that we think will help really move the work forward in the school buildings.
Okay, fantastic. And as many of us know, there are 3 bills already in the hopper in the General Assembly addressing the literacy laws in Virginia, so lots of movement and exciting times for that. The second 2 things I wanted to ask about and speak to is, again, this reality that our mission is to educate children, and yet we are forced to contend with circumstances way out of our control. Healthcare costs. So slide 8, I just wanted to clarify about under health benefits, the employer share of healthcare and employee share is going up. It looks like 2.3%. Can you please, explain, are the employees, is that cost going to be passed on to employees? Are we going to, swallow that, and just what is the rising cost of healthcare these days?
Ms. Burton or Alice, Ms. Wiggington?
So that 2.3% is both the employer and employee share. So open enrollment for this calendar year. So rate increases for health go calendar year January to December. So that would have been advertised as part of our open enrollment in the October-November timeframe. And so employees will pay that portion of that increase as we move into the new year. But it's on both. It's equally shared by both the employee and employer.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so this is just, last year I remember quoting the amount as well. It was a number of millions of dollars, and this is a big problem that we can't resolve, but just so the public is aware, this is straining our abilities to provide instruction for students. And then just similarly, on slide 11, with the increase of $500,000 for supporting FOIA work, I know we need this. I think we have staff that does a tremendous job at this, and they are being inundated. And I think, just to appeal to the public is we need accountability on our elected bodies and our governments, but at what cost? Because for less than that, we could fund the Lewis Innovation Program at $0.4 million. For less than that, we could fund better classroom use and figure out overcrowding for $0.3 million. So the school division has to invest in, invest these critical resources to address this growing body of ways to interact with, the system when there are other ways to get information, to make your voice heard, and to advocate. So I think we're doing the responsible thing, but it is also unfortunate that we have to use those kinds of resources when we could be educating students. And I'll just say finally, I was glad to hear, Dr. Braber, in your remarks about where the Board of Supervisors is and the county executive. I know that they are huge supporters of our public schools as not only instructional places, but places of employment, places of community use. It's an economic engine. So I hope that we can also advocate to the state to continue to ask for our fair share here in Fairfax for revenue that funds our public schools so that our localities don't have to bear the high burden that we do here in Fairfax to serve our population. Thank you.